Neither rain, nor snow, nor dark of night, nor holidays will keep you from our lantern's light. Something like that. My name is Adam Freeman. This is Comic Industry Insiders Live, our weekly look at what's happening in the comics industry. And because not much is happening this week, we're going to bring in a whole bunch of people and we're going to talk to them about, what they did this year and what they're predicting for next year. We are in, listen, Megan, jump in or jump out. These nerd comments in the comments chat. I don't know if I'm here for it. Anyway, this is our pre-show banter section of the show where we get a chance to kind of get everybody warmed up and get people in the room. And speaking of people in the room, I'm going to bring everybody in just one at a time, and we're going to see it. Oh, by the way, Tommy, you're always in the chat. If you're near a camera, we would love to send you a link. Let's have you in to do some predictions. So drop us a line. All right. Okay, let's see. First off, let's say my partner in crime, my partner in publishing, the man behind the editorial of Comics the Magazine, Mr. Joe Keating.
Hello,
I waited
sir.
for the sip. I waited. I almost got it exactly.
I was thinking you were going to bring in Brian. That's why I was like, oh, great. It's perfect coffee time right now. Turned out, nope. The other one.
Well, bait and switch. That's right.
Good to be here as always. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you here. And for those of you who can hear the dog in the background, who is very unhappy that her master is home and hasn't come in yet. Okay. You know what? This week we're gonna have so many fun guests who are gonna come in and give us their predictions. Last year, I will say one of the most accurate predictions came from Mr. Philip Sablik. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Adam? Joe?
I'm doing well.
See you guys.
Good to see you, buddy. Good to have you here.
Let's see. Speaking of, yes, so many partners, so many crimes. Let's bring in our second partner of the day, Mr. Brian Garside. How you doing, Bubba?
Number 2 on the call sheet, number 1 in your hearts.
You were number 1 last week. You ran it the whole thing.
I know. I did. It was pretty fun. Are we gonna do the same thing with the Yule boasts like we did?
I think so. I think
those
Yule
were the best.
Oh, yeah. that was one of my favorite things. I'd totally forgotten about that until we watched last year's show.
I know, same.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna have to. So everybody, we'll get that, but I'm gonna introduce everybody who's in the room now because at exactly 11 minutes we're gonna go back to actually a produced show. So Gabe, welcome. What is this about your what's your email address there?
That'll be Gabe at pranadm.com.
Now, why would people want to send you an email?
Yeah,
God,
dog. Look, well, it's the dog's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. This time of year, things are ridiculously slow. Everybody just decides they want to stop working for 2 weeks because of some holiday or another. And so
who are these people?
Now's the time because I'm sitting here in front of my computer just waiting for your email. Just waiting for it. You get all of my attention, which is
because we want to have your ad in Comics the Magazine number 1 coming in March. We're going to talk about some more about that. You know who I think already has an ad in there, but if he doesn't, we should shame him into it. Mr. Django Boren. Django.
Shame.
Oh no! Oh.
Listen, it's just an organizational thing, and I got
a bell somewhere.
I haven't been asked yet. Yes,
let's just run that.
I've got an updated version for that.
Good. I like that.
We're ready.
Good.
We're ready.
We have somebody new this week. Somebody I am going to be meeting for the first time. Mr. Pat Shand. Hello, Pat. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Blake speaks incredibly highly of you. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say, man.
That's nice to hear.
Have you heard of the Yule boast? You know what this is?
No, I'm hearing about it for the first time.
Everyone should be prepared to do a Yule boast. So the idea is that you sit around the Yule log at the end of the year, and not only do you tell stories about what has happened, but you make the most outlandish claims you can. For instance, I don't know. I'm not going to make mine just yet, but I think last year I said something about Philip Sablik was going to buy Diamond Comics. I think it was something like that, right?
Oh, there was, yeah.
Came really close. Yeah. Just got edged out. Dodge that bullet.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? There's one guy who I swear to God puts more effort into this show every week and does not. And we praise him all the time. And I really wanted to introduce somebody other than Blake Morgan, just because it would be funny. But here's Blake.
Hey, I wore a comic thing this time. Last time you said I wasn't wearing enough comic stuff, so we've been talking about DC, so I figured I'd wear Marvel.
Oh, I see. You're going counter.
And I bought this at the fake Disneyland in Florida because I couldn't afford to go to the real Disneyland. I went to like the shopping mall Disneyland and went to the Marvel store and got this bad mammer jammer. Basically Spider-Man. I'm feeling good. How is everybody? Hi Pat. I miss Pat. Pat used to come on my show every now and then. He needs to come back.
You want it, bro.
I know. It's totally on me. I haven't reached out in a hot minute. That's why I was stoked to get him on here because he's a legend. He's a legend. All these gentlemen are legends. Legends in the industry that
I was gonna
lucky
say
to
one more, and you're gonna have like the Brady bunch of middle-aged white guys in comics. On here.
Somebody made the joke to someone else who is not on this panel. They apparently were looking at our screen and said something about it being like a January 5th reunion. And you know what? I'll take the criticism. I invited a lot of people this year, and I'm hoping a few others kind of stray in as we go along. But listen, you produce the show for the people who show up, and I am so glad that this crew. I mean, between all you, I think we have a big year of comics coming up ahead of us. So
we might need to get a beard, like a beard bomb sponsorship. Based on the facial hair here.
Beard bomb and Rogaine.
Can you work on that?
Some of us.
Beard bomb.
Beard oil. Yeah.
Beard oil, yeah. Tea tree. I think tea tree would be nice.
Some cedar.
There you go.
A little sandalwood.
A little sandalwood. Yeah.
Look at that. We got a full list. We got a full Brady bunch.
A quorum for certain.
And Philip, you get to be the housekeeper. That's
I was gonna say I'm center square here. No,
that's right.
It's very exciting.
All right. So the premise of this week's show is we're going to wrap up a lot of it. Brian and I are gonna we're gonna talk about like the one news story that popped off this week. And we're going to run an ad for a random ad. We're in a little interview for one of the books that we have coming up through Prana Publishers. But the premise of this show is we're going to bring everybody in at like 2 or 3 at a time, and we're going to talk about how comics how it progressed this last year and what we're predicting for next year, and not only your predictions but your Yule boasts, the thing that you are going to make. Felicity, I totally forgot. I'm going to send you a link right now. Okay, the link is coming to Felicity. We'll have at least one not bearded white guy face on the screen. Okay, great. She's there right there. She did email a couple times, and my inbox is really dumb. Okay, good. What did happen this week? By the way, did anybody have something that's happened this week?
I couldn't hear about anything over the noise of damaged Ultimate Universe.
That's fair. Philip, how are you going to? You guys are good. Have you done any blind bags yet? Have you figured this out?
Well, technically, yes. For Murder Podcast #1, Jeremy Hahn did a secret variant, as he always does, which is technically a blind bag because you can't see what's in it. But it is a secret variant that is not allowed to be showed on the internet.
Whoa!
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And technically, he did do one variation of it, which is he blood splattered 10% of the print run. So people that bought it, 10% of them got the blood splatter, but that was it. And he's been doing that for 10 years. So he's way ahead of the blind bag curve.
Very true. We should also say, go ahead.
The Beauty comes out in just a few weeks, doesn't it? The FX TV series.
January 21st.
January 21st. Yeah. Wow.
FX, Hulu, and for our international friends in the audience, Disney Plus.
Wow, that's got to be a new record.
I was gonna say, does a Yule boast count if you already know it's gonna happen?
Listen,
But yeah, I think 6 months within 6 months of publication, having a TV show on the air is might be a new record. 18 months of the company being founded, which is also, I think, faster than anybody's managed to pull that off.
I will take it. I will take it. Felicity, I want it known. Check your inbox. If you don't come in now, it's please. Tim, how was your year, by the way, buddy?
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually just got off the phone with my business partner discussing year-end numbers, and yeah, we had a very, very good year. So
I look forward to hearing more about it. Awesome. All right. Well, you have 2 more minutes. Does anybody have anything just to get the pipes warmed up? Does anybody have a piece of poetry they want to recite? Anything like that? So before we get rolling.
Don't tempt me to
you
chant.
hear me okay? I'm not used to using this mic. I'm trying without a headset for the first time.
No, you're good.
Tim, we're just happy to have you, bud.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure you can actually hear me. I don't, but yeah, that's all.
None of us sound as good as Jeff, and we're all okay with that.
If I'm going to be known for one thing.
For the record, I'm not okay with it. I'm struggling.
Jeff, he's gonna fly you out just to set him up. It's
yeah, we'll get rid of that room noise. Don't worry, bud. I got you.
Appreciate it. Just over here on my AirPods, like an amateur.
Same.
Oh man, the number of times I've had interviews that go long. We have somebody who I'm hoping shows up today, and when I was interviewing him on our podcast, his AirPods died right 3/4 of the way through. And you're like, do you stop the end? I still have so much to cover. And so we had a real sound.
You got to charge those before you jump on.
Yeah, I had that in the middle of a therapy session, a video therapy session, and nothing will derail a therapy session like needing to change from headphones to just your laptop speaker mic setup, like in the middle of trying to get something off your chest, you know?
I had to do when you have to do like a tech check to do your therapy session.
Exactly. And therapists aren't historically great at tech stuff either.
No, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think we all got better at it. We all Zoomed, right? That was just it. If we hadn't gone through, I think the whole thing, my big oh shoot, what's the word I'm looking for? Nope. I was going to say conspiracy theory is that the entire COVID thing was just created by Zoom.
Yeah, well, actually, ironically, it was put on by Big Skype, but really quickly, Skype realized they were the ones that people wanted to use. So it was like, we invested a lot of money in a pandemic that's really only benefiting our competitors. Poor Skype.
Poor Skype.
I have a couple of people that still use Skype, and every time I get an invite for like, do you want to get on Skype? I'm like, I have to figure out what the password.
Not voluntarily, buds. Not voluntarily. I don't.
All right, Blake. Let's pull them all off and let's do a show, wanna? Thank you. We'll see you all in a bit.
Soon.
Hey, everybody. That was Pat Shand. My name is Adam Freeman. This is Comic Industry Insiders Live, a weekly podcast where we talk to the people behind the scenes of the comic book industry. We talk about the headlines of the things that are happening. We try and inform you on how you can, better your career or your business in comics. And when I say we, I mean, it's me and usually Blake, who's behind the ones and twos, and my partner in crime is going to show up right there. There he is, Mr. Brian Garside.
It's me.
How you doing, Bubba?
How's it going? How's your holiday been so far?
It was good. It only snowed twice in the last month, so I only had to do that snow clearing. Turns out that's the weird part about owning a house where it snows, is that you end up getting to know your snow shovel really, really, really well.
Yeah. We have December started with like literally 2 feet of snow, and then it just kept coming and coming and coming. And then right after Christmas, it immediately all just disappeared. And then we had a rainstorm, and then we had a freeze, and then we had a thaw. And now today we have another 2 feet of snow. It is like the most mind-numbingly bipolar Christmas of all time. Like, oh,
Imagine
understand this,
having
man.
living in a place where the weather is so bad they have to give you free health care just to go and live there. It's incredible.
You know what? I always say, no, no hurricanes, no poisonous animals. Those are the only reasons we live here. No
Yeah.
earthquakes. No. So as I'm shoveling, that mantra goes on and on over a decade. No earthquakes.
And no Trump. Okay, that's as political as we're gonna get. This is our year-end show. This has been 2025. This actually, one of the reasons why this is a remarkable show is it marks 1 year of this show. We started this. I just went live out of nowhere. I think it was on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve of last year, and invited Brian as one of my guests. And then about 2 weeks later, Diamond decided to implode into bankruptcy, and we started a weekly show. So this one really is our anniversary show. So happy anniversary, my friend.
Happy anniversary. Yeah, from a possibly month. Well, maybe we can get one episode a month out. So
That's
like
right.
immediately, no, let's do this every week.
No, let's do 50, 51, 52 of them, whatever. Yeah, we did. I don't know. There's something about throwing your cap over the wall makes these things go a little easier. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So let's see, I tried. This is
push the buttons.
Never do that. I should never do that.
This is we haven't learned.
We have not learned. I want to point out that the eyes of the future, there's an eye, and Nostradamus is writing a comic. I want to just chef's kiss, buddy. Just
this is beautiful.
Oh, excellent. A new guest jumped in. I can't wait. All right, so this is our eyes of the future. We're going to be looking at 2026. We're going to be looking back a little bit at 2025. And we've got a few things. I am hitting a button. We're gonna do some just like one hard-hitting headline. There's not much going on this time of year in our industry. Everybody goes home and lights a fire and makes food. And then we're bringing on, we have a large crew of guests, and we're going to be talking about one of the incredible books that are coming out from Prana Publishers this year. So we're going to pack all that into the next hour-ish. We'll see how it goes. All right, I am pushing a button to say the Prana Bullet is a weekly email that we send out. We even sent one out last week in the middle of the holiday, and I'll be honest, I didn't do much for that one. But we did get it out. We get it once a week where we do an outline of all of the headlines that are happening in comics that week. We give you some look at what's ahead. And as of next week's Friday newsletter, we're going to start putting in weekly sales reports from our network of comic shops that include the managed comic shops. So we're going to be talking actual POS sales data as of next week. So scan the QR code, por favor. What's this?
Absolutely. And while you're at it, go check out comicpreviews.com. We are about to launch a whole bunch of updates, and I think it's like a week or two away from having pull lists on there too. So if you want to get on the wait list to get alerted as soon as the pull list launch, go there, and there's a little form right at the top, and fill that out, and we will let you know.
I can't wait. Can't wait.
So exciting. So exciting.
Saving comics, my friend. Saving comics. All right.
One customer at a time.
Hard-hitting headlines, the New Year's edition. Last week we took a look at what are the biggest things for this year. This year we really only have one left, which Barnes and Noble expanding.
I saw that coming.
If ever there was a company that has stuck it out and figured out how to change and shift with the times, but I will say that the fact that they did shift seemingly has obviously grown so much, really.
Yeah. For sure. So they were purchased in 2019 by Elliott Investment Management, and this company has built them from, they were at 267 stores when they were purchased in 2019, and now they're at 702. They opened 60 stores in 2025 alone.
But now my understanding is part of the reason why this is working so well is that they have shifted. When I was selling to Barnes and Noble as a publisher, I would go and I would talk to a man named James Killen, who spectacular man, knows comics really, really well, was their buyer for comics. And you convince James to buy you, and he would you could be stocked on all the shelves. But part of the problem is that books like the stuff I've always sold have needed to be hand sold. And so every time I would say, what about our, who are the hand sellers? How can I talk to them? How can I interact with them? They all just said, we don't really do that. My understanding is part of the reason why Barnes & Noble is seeing growth is that they've taken all of those buying decisions and put them into a store level, if not like a region level, so that each store can kind of shift its product mix and encourage hand sellers, encourage people to actually be on the floor interacting with people, which I think is such a good view for all of us in this space. Even those comic shops that are going to be in the chat angry with me that I'm focusing so much on a chain store. I think that I think it does nothing but grow everyone.
Yeah, for sure. And that's exactly it. They looked at what was working in the small independent bookstore space, which is hand selling, right? It's knowing your customers and being that third place. And Barnes and Noble has been a third place for years. They were one of the first places to have like coffee shops inside of their bookstores way back when, that everybody else started kind of emulating. So yeah, it's good to see. And they've also gone away from just like Starbucks. I've noticed a lot of like kind of more independent coffee shops will be inside of a Starbucks, inside of a Barnes and Noble. So yeah, they did that weird thing where a corporation actually looks at what works instead of just trying to increase the bottom line at the cost of everyone else. So yeah, it's been good.
Oh, by the way,
and the reason we even brought this up is because they're contemplating an IPO. So that could be a big deal this year.
It could be a very big deal. I did want to bring up something before we leave this story completely. Jamie Colville, I believe you hit me up in the. Can we show that one? Why is that not showing? There it is. I believe he hit me up in an email, or somebody else did, about how we didn't talk about the Baker and Taylor shutdown in our wrap up of the year. And I think he's right. It is a big story. They, as a distributor, they're not going to be. They've always focused on getting specifically comics and other stuff into libraries, but also, I mean, they're a big distributor into the library space, and them shutting down has shifted. I don't know that it's the same as losing Diamond. I don't believe it is, because it's going to be, that distribution will be replaced by others. There's so many others in that space, but it is notable. They've been around forever, and it has it's going to shift how that communication with at least the library market is going to shift for publishers.
Founded in 1828.
Yeah.
My goodness. Wow.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. I'm going to hit you know what? I'm not hitting any buttons. I'm not doing it because for some reason, every time I try and click on something, it's not working. All right, my friends, it is time. Do you want to do your predictions early or late? What do you think?
I don't know, because mine is like a little bit of a mic drop. Not so much my Yule boast, but my prediction, I think, is a bit of a mic drop. I don't even know if I think I texted you my prediction.
I think so.
Do you remember it?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
And I've got for Prana, we've got some some resolutions, shall we say?
Okay.
Right. So we're going to talk about those at the end of the show. But we should bring in We've got some people. We've got some real experts in our chat this week. They're all. I mean, I'm looking at this. This is such a beautiful menu of people that we could be talking to. I'm going to, just because we started the whole thing off with a couple of with just an entire screen full of pasty white dudes. I'm going to add in one more and someone who doesn't fit that description. So we're going to start with someone who I've already introduced, the publisher of Ignition Press, a good friend of mine, gave me my first real job in publishing, Mr. Philip Sablik. How you doing, Brian? How are you?
Hey, Adam. Hey, Brian. Happy early New Year. Good to see you guys.
That's right. Yeah.
And let's bring, I don't know, is she stepping away? Is she there? Let's bring her in. Felicity Heflin from First Comics is also joining us today. Hi, Felicity. You are muted. Your mic is muted. There it is.
Hello.
Let's see. From your perspective, I'll hear from both of you. What was the biggest? Obviously, Diamond Comics changed everything. But is there something that we're not seeing, some other, something like the Baker and Taylor of it all, that we didn't see that is going to shift how comics are sold and how our world works going forward? What do you think? Let's go, Philip. You've been on for a bit. I'll give you a chance to clear your head. What do you think? Do you have anything?
You know, I think both of the things you mentioned are kind of like negative shifts.
Sure.
And obviously, you know, in comics, we tend to focus on that, and in news in general, right? If it bleeds, it leads. So
right, that's right.
Maybe a more positive shift is something that I know you and Brian have been talking about throughout the year, which is you've been calling it the Dogman generation, but it's the entrance of Gen Z and Gen Alpha into, you know, the customer base. And this is a large demographic shift. It's a really sizable population shift as well. Gen Z is the largest, you know, generation since the baby boomers coming in, and they're comic book natives. You know, they grew up with comic books and graphic novels in the classroom as part of pop culture. There's an entire, you know, we talk about the graphic novel piece of it, but there's also the fact that these are generations that have grown up with comic book adaptations in film and TV as just a mainstream, you know, cornerstone of what they watch. And so I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that generational shift impacts the market. And I hope for the positive.
I think so. I don't see how it can in any other way make it a positive. I think you're right. I keep saying I think we're heading into some of the best years, if not decades, of our industry. I think we have an opportunity to continue to grow. Felicity, from where you sit at First Comics, what would you say is the biggest impact on what you're doing this year?
You mean like?
Well, I mean, like, what are the big changes in our industry that have shifted how you are selling First Comics, how you're interacting with our industry? You know, what are the big shifts for you?
Well, obviously, Diamond's bankruptcy meant that we no longer had a way to get our books to the majority of retailers,
right,
in the U.S. And we've always done well at conventions, directly hand selling to fans and also retailers. But this year forced us to be really creative with how we reach out to potential customers, both fans and retailers alike.
Sure. Any favorites? What was your favorite creative solution this year?
Not so much creative as pragmatic, but getting that deal with massive indies.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. And we offer direct distribution, which it's extremely helpful for us. especially in the early days of the bankruptcy.
I bet.
But one of the trends that we've been noodling with, trying to figure out a happy medium, is balancing our direct distribution with the wider distribution, because point blank, we simply don't have the logistical capabilities to reach as many retailers as we need.
Yeah.
So me getting that massive indies deal was, no, well, I don't, yeah, I'm going to boast about it a bit. I'm really proud of myself for doing that.
All right, good. Well, I'm going to come back to you because we're going to need to get a prediction and an actual boast from you. But Philip, what do you think we look at? Where are we sitting from where we sit right now at the end of 2025, assuming that you are doing this again next year? You were with us last year for this show. What does our world look like 1 year from today?
I think we're going to continue seeing growth. One of the biggest changes I'm seeing at the end of this year is, last year, I think there was some early signs that the market was going to make a comeback from where maybe it had dipped in 2022. I remember talking to a lot of retail partners and a lot of other publishing friends, and there was some optimism. But I think, looking back now at the end of this year, we've got, virtually every retail partner I talk to is up for the year. And that means that, there's some cushion, right? And when you're making decisions from a place of feeling good about the market, feeling good about your customer base, those tend to be more forward-thinking and better decisions, I think. And having comic shops and bookstores and publishers in a place where they feel like they can start to experiment because they have some financial buffer there is a much better place going into 2026. So I'm excited to see what that leads to, both creatively and also from just a business perspective, how stores are going to continue to innovate. Because I think that's another big piece of this, right? It's not just that, Absolute came in and created a surge in the single issue space or the Energon universe or anything like that. It's that stores continued to diversify, continued to think about what are the different ways that they're reaching customers. And I think publishers, to some extent, are having to do the same thing, right? Felicity kind of, spoke to that just a moment ago. These disruptions force everybody to get creative, and most of the time, creativity leads to a stronger marketplace.
I agree. Jen, Felicity, we have a tradition we've started on this show that is we started last year, and it was so much fun. We're going to do it again this year. The Yule boast. So this is not, you can make a prediction if you'd like for where we're going to be, but more than that, I want you to plant your flag and say, and this could be something completely absurd. You could say that you're going to finally get Ken Levin to stop talking at a moment's notice. You could say something absurd like that. Or you can find some other way. What is your Yule boast for 2026? What is Felicity's going to get done?
I'm going to get first comics into libraries and bookstores.
I like it.
Love it.
I like that a lot. That's a good plan. They absolutely should be there. Thank you so much for joining us. We have such a full roster that I'm going to power through some people, and I'm going to say thank you for coming on, and we'll have to get you back on. Philip, before we let you go, I'm going to need you to get your Yule boast here, so hold on just a second. Oh, yeah, actually, let's go ahead and go. Thank you, Felicity.
So my Yule boast, as I kind of joked in the pre-show, is a Yule boast. If I know it's going to happen, I'm going to pretend like it is. So my Yule boast is that Ignition Press is going to enter its technically we're still in our first year of publishing, but second year as a company with a TV show on the air, January 21st. Tune in on FX or Hulu in the US or Disney Plus internationally for The Beauty, which is put together by mega showrunner Ryan Murphy, and has a all-star cast that includes Evan Peters and Rebecca Hall and Ashton Kutcher and Jeremy Pope and just a really amazing ensemble cast. They're going to drop the first 3 episodes on the premiere day, and for bookstores and comic shops, we'll have The Beauty Book 1 in stores that same day, along with Beauty issue 3. So plenty for customers to check out right after they watch the show. But the Yule Boast part of this is we will actually have an additional show that just wrapped production. So I'm going to Yule Boast that is also going to debut in 2026, and a streaming feature film that is also in production and will likely come out in 2026.
Damn, Philip. All right. You know, you light
Wow.
the piano on fire, and then I have to bring in our next guest. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate you. And you've essentially set the bar for everybody else. So we're gonna start bringing them in.
Absolutely.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Philip.
Our next guest this week, could not be more thrilled to have him come by. This is one of our earliest guests on the podcast, actually, and did an amazing interview. Somebody who has done possibly more jobs in comics than Brian and I put together, and that's saying a whole lot. The president of Mad Cave Studios, Mr. Mark Irwin. Mark, how you doing, my
Hey
friend?
guys, good. How are you? Good to be here.
Good deal, man. How was your 20? Yeah, go ahead.
Having me follow Philip, like what the hell?
I had no idea he was going to drop some bombs there at the end. Listen, that's a good week, good year for him. So tell us about 2025. You guys were a little busy.
A little busy, yeah. Quite a bit happening. Obviously, the beginning of Nakama Press, our manga imprint. Was a big deal and a big push for Mad Cave. Now we have 4 imprints, kind of running the gamut of what is out there in terms of graphic storytelling. I can share that it was also a year of such ridiculous growth over the last couple of years for us that we spent 2025 working on things like infrastructure and kind of refocusing all of the crazy disparate things that we had going on. But I think it's going to lead to an even stronger 2026 for us. So we're pretty excited.
It's almost a metaphor for the entire industry, right? We had a real infrastructure year. We got to get this.
Well, I'll make my Yule brag for 2025 was that we did a good job of successfully not being affected by Diamond. So that was kind of our little claim to fame for the whole year, was that the Diamond, as unfortunate as it was for the industry, it didn't really affect Mad Cave. So
no kidding.
But that being said, I'm looking forward to seeing where this crazy whole comics thing takes us, in 2026. We've seen a massive growth on the direct market side. People are still going into places like Barnes and Noble and all of those, to buy graphic novels. So I think the readership just continues to grow and become more sophisticated. It's not just about guys like us buying whatever newest Batman run there is, although that is still a big part of things. So it's exciting.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, and also I see in our comments one of our biggest retailer supporters here, Jeremy at Titan Comics, saying some of the best horror comics in the business coming from Mad Cave, which again is saying a lot. That was a big year for horror comics. So y'all are doing incredible work. Yeah,
we're really, really lucky. I mean, we've had incredible creators, great stuff coming. Having guys like Mark Russell on our roster. Just the dude is so creative and coming at us with a million different ideas, and they're all brilliant. It's like kind of hard to say no to publishing that stuff when it comes along. So.
Well, I had no kidding, and you guys have done a really good job of curating those as they come in. I know of a couple different people who have some big projects coming from you, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have coming up. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
You made through our market share lists. You guys made solidly landed in that top 10 on a regular basis this year, which is saying a lot. I just love the story of your company. I love the whole Mark London kind of starting off as a publisher and growing into what it is. I think it says so much for the kinds of people that we work with on a daily basis that are kind of entering this as a passion project and just are building real businesses around it. It's incredible to watch you guys grow.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's really the story of Mad Cave. DIY setup. Kind of coming in with a passion for comics, but maybe not being a part, coming from the industry to do it, coming from outside the industry to do it, and deciding like, hey, we really love this. How can we become more legit? How can we become bigger? How can we grow? What can we learn? All of those things, kind of have informed our growth, and just an appetite to tell great stories, whether it's for kids, whether it's for education, whether it's for adults. We have the means to get it all out there. So,
well, I'd love to see it. So any big predictions for 20? Here's what I'm looking for. Predictions about the comics industry in general. You can make it Mad Cave specific, or you can give us a Yule boast or give us a Yule boast. Where is Mark Irwin going to be at the end of this year? What is Mad Cave going to do this year?
Well, I can share that I do think that this continued sophistication within the market is going to keep growing. I think that we're going to see sort of a secondary rise of the indies over the next year. And I would say, as far as Mad Cave goes, we have a couple of things that are percolating, a couple announcements that should shock the industry, some really major titles that we'll be announcing throughout 2026, coupled with at least one of our titles being optioned by a major studio. So, little things like that. You'll see all of that and more coming from Mad Cave. Much more growth on the Disney side as well. Basically, you want your Disney comics for kids, we're going to be your publisher. So, you name it, we got it.
Man, looking forward to that. Awesome. Well, Mark, thank you for coming by. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to working with you guys in the new year. You've always been a joy to see as you grow. So looking forward to seeing more. Happy 2026, my friend. All righty.
Happy 2026.
Okay. Who should we bring up next, Brian? What do you think, man?
Why don't we do why don't we do a data bro?
Let's go, bro. Go, bro.
All the bros. Look at that.
And
it's a quorum.
Also, Django, shout out. We're following up Mark Irwin, which Django on our weekly comic podcast for the last year and a half, we've been like, what is Mad Cave putting in the water at those water coolers at Mad Cave HQ? Because it's really good stuff. Human growth hormone, creative growth hormone.
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out Mad Cave. Seriously, the last year has been awesome. We've been raving about it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it shows up in the data that we're getting from you guys and from Brian. We're seeing them come in at the top 10. I think that is an incredible feat for like I said, a company that really started from that sort of DIY ground level and grew into it.
From the numbers, and then also just the quality of the books. I keep being like, is this a Boom Image book? No, it's Mad Cave. Get it
over and over.
Over and over.
Yeah.
So you guys grew quite a bit. CSA, where did you start off this year?
Early this year, I think we had 40-ish users, and
Okay.
we're well over 100 now. We're at the 110, 115 area.
Gotcha.
It allows us to say 100 a lot,
100,
which is we have
so more than 100.
north of
Yeah, more than
100.
100.
North of 100.
So yeah, we've more than
3 digits,
doubled.
Bay.
Yeah. We've almost tripled our user base this year, and so high five, Diamond. The comic suite going away shuffled that along a lot quicker than we were expecting.
Yeah, I know. Somebody else's, proud moment was that they dodged the diamond stuff, and Jenga sounds like we did that pretty effectively too, man.
Yeah, we just leaned into it, I guess.
Just leaned in.
Yeah, we
I will
probably
say as an industry, we all
ordered
kind of missed it, right? I mean, that could have. And Brian, you talk about this all the time. That bullet really could have taken us all down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
But
and it was relatively. I mean, it sucked, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been for sure.
I mean, we've been practicing since 2020, so
it's true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I think we owe somebody at Diamond like flowers or something, because although sometimes I didn't really want to give them flowers, I wanted to give them something else.
I still get adorable small little 3-issue packages from them, like this week. Like, buds. Oh, buds.
We don't need these Svengoolie comics.
This is supposed to be done.
Stuff that I swear to God I never even ordered, but it's like, well, that's the next issue of the thing that I can't get anywhere else. So okay.
No, I mean, surely I ordered those Svengoolies at some point.
Oh, I know something about that. Okay, we'll get into that probably later on. So boys, big predictions for 2026. What do you think? What does the world look like? What does our world look like a year from now?
I guess I'm gonna echo a lot of people, but I'm seeing banner year. I'm seeing big stuff. I feel like with what DC's doing, like Absolute, I feel like those numbers are huge. I think they're going to find a way to accelerate their main continuity, main universe stuff to be up a little bit, maybe with some like crossovers with the Absolute line. I feel like Marvel's been kind of biding their time with something. I feel like they've got a kind of a big announcement, but I think what that means is we're getting really awesome creators doing big 2 work, and I think that that's going to trickle out into a lot of those bigger creators doing creator-owned stuff. So I'm very excited to see, like Dennis Camp and, that camp of people spreading out. But yeah, I feel like I think it's gonna be big, guys.
Camp is gonna happen. It's gonna
happen. Camp. Yeah.
Tent City. I think that in our store, which is anomalous looking at bigger data sets, but I think that in our store, we're going to see non-Marvel DC Image take a bigger bite out of the top 10. Already this year, we have one employee who has been pushing Boys Love Manga. Their sales pitch for the girl she liked wasn't really a girl at all, has sold more of that than anything except the Absolute Batman trade paperback this year.
Yeah.
So
really?
So don't step on my Yule boast, Django.
No, I'm not going to touch your Yule boast.
All right.
I don't even know what your Yule boast is. But
well, you're getting close, Yule boast.
I think we're going to see a bigger mix of non top 3 publishers in our store's top 10. That's my prediction there. And then for you, Adam, I think that your office is going to reach final form by the end of 2026.
There's no final.
We're talking painted walls. We're talking
the lava lamp of internet sex.
It really is. It changes everything. It's amazing. That's awesome.
Okay, Jeff, I feel like you're chomping at the bit, buddy. Give me a Yule boast. Let's go.
Okay, well, so Yule boast, what a phrase, what a term. So we got on here, you dropped Yule boast, and I was like, oh my gosh, I wasn't prepared for Yule boast. But as we hung out, Django alluded to it, but I think the comics place is single-handedly going to lead the charge and in making comic stores no longer synonymous solely with superheroes, but also boys love. So I think comic shops will be the place that everyone knows you go to for superhero books, and boys love manga because it is smashing at the comics place. Just absolutely slaying it. And, I was thinking about it, and Philip was saying earlier, like kids raised on Dogman and stuff. And it makes sense that manga is at where it's at for a variety of reasons. But if you look at these kids who are trained on large installments, like once a year, to be reading, manga is put out in tankobon like volumes that are much similar in size, production, and schedule to all adult or all ages books than Western comics are. So like, I don't, it's gotta, I think there is, Philip was talking about that training that's going on. I think it is happening, and yeah, it makes sense.
I love that. I love the sound of that. All right, Django, time for the Yule boast. Let's hear it.
Oh, what do you got for me?
This next year, we're looking forward to releasing the Comic Shop Assistant Comic Store 3D printer, where you push a button and it 3D prints a comic store and gives you an instructional video for ordering from all the chaotic distributors.
Which is very good, but he's not mentioning where the idea came from, which is that we are in the final stages of putting a wrap on our 3D printer comic printer. So you'll be able to go into any database, pick an issue, and it will 3D color print you that comic on blank comic pages.
We're calling it print on 3-man.
Yes, exactly. So we got a lot of things coming to revolutionize the comics industry in 2026, but mostly Boys Love is here.
You guys are innovative. You know what you are? You're innovative. You're disruptive.
Thank you.
You are.
We've also got a Yule threat. Which is something only we in the Data Bros are willing to. It's that in 2026, the Data Bros ride again.
The Data Bros ride again. And Brian, you could tell these folks exactly when we're writing again.
Like real soon. Real soon.
Like at first dawn, first dawn, probably ish.
I got a thing at dawn.
Ish, right? Yeah.
Okay, and I actually have like a big breakfast that usually takes.
And we want to avoid the worst of the traffic. So like after the traffic.
So
you know what?
If you leave after 10, it's basically noon.
If you wait
Let's say
until
1
sunset,
for 2.
If you wait
1
until
for 2.
Sunset, the roads get a lot clearer.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
But the Data Bros will ride again in 2026.
Upwards of 100 times.
100.
You heard it you're here first, folks. Twice a week, they're coming to you real soon.
Episode 100 in the
Is that how that would work? Oh no.
You can do all at once.
I've done 4 episode a week shows. We can do that.
All right, you got it. I'm in.
Boys, thank you for coming by. We really appreciate you. I am certain that we're going to be calling on you again as one or more of us decides we can't make it on any given week. So
if you need
looking
us,
forward to you to
We're
talking to you
there.
more. All right, we'll see you soon.
Thanks, boys.
All right, our next guests. Who did I say was next? I know I wrote down who it was. Oh, I know. Okay. So we have a project. We talk about this every week. This project is one of my favorite things we're working on. It is a magazine about comics, the greatest magazine about the world's greatest art form. It's Comics the Magazine. And we have in our midst 2 of the people who are helping us make this incredible endeavor work. I want to bring to the stage Mr. Joseph Keating and Mr. Gabe Yoakum.
Oh, hey, it's me. It's us. It's
Good
we.
back. I was actively working on the magazine in the other window while I was waiting to come on here. So I just approved an article by someone who's very cool. I'm very excited about it. I'll tell you later.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
It's my favorite part about this. We've been building this thing has been the joy and frankly terror of my life lately.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I gotta tell you about some of the dreams I've been having lately. But I'll tell you, I got Rico. We're doing an art instructional thing for the first issue. I'm not gonna say with who, but Rico just turned on a new layout for it, and it looks so rad. I'm so pumped. So my favorite, I don't know. This has been a blast. So good times.
You know what? I've been asking everybody, and I'll even ask the chat. What would you want to see in a magazine about comics that would make it for you? right? I think the people on this screen, we all know, and we've all
yeah.
had to be able to contribute the thing that we want it to be. And
Yeah.
some of us like, I want this, and we all go, really? We're like, all right, go make that happen. And and then it shows up. So yeah, it's if you have something. Oh well, how about some real journalism? I'm with you, buddy.
We've had enough
Let's
real
do
journalism.
Well, we got that. That's not a problem.
What does that mean, though? What is real Because most people think real journalism is just spell check. Like, real journalism is, one, expensive as heck,
Yeah,
and two, kind of boring. Like, who really wants that deep dive? Yeah.
I think you do want a certain level of standards. I think we
for
do
sure.
want to go into it with making sure that we're not just engaging for the clicks. And I think that's something you can do in print that you can't really do online anymore, because you have to show traffic, you have to show engagement, right?
Where I think we'll kind of differentiate ourselves from others in the past is the fact that we have an ethos. We have a guiding force throughout all of this, and that is that comics are awesome. and we love comics, and that's what the magazine's going to be about. And it that means a lot. It's not going to be about, to Comic Book School's point in the chat, it's not going to be about this publisher is awesome because they gave us a lot of money, although we do encourage them to give us a lot of money. It's because they like comics too, not because they're going to get more of our time than anybody else.
They are very likely to be awesome if they give us a lot of money. That's
correct.
That part is kind of obvious. I mean, that's just self-fulfilling.
CTM #1 ad, Gabe at pranadm.com.
Yeah, I mean, look, the line I've been saying for a long time now is genuine enthusiasm for comics and print. Like, I want to have some fun here. I feel like I've had enough of the self-serious. Like, there'll be some serious stuff, but I've had enough of the self-serious. I've had enough of the whatever. Like, it's about how comics are awesome. The people who make them are awesome. People who sell them are awesome. My Yule boast to actually go into this a little bit. Don't want to get there yet, but I'll just say,
hang on. Yeah, wait for the prompt. That's good.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? I mean, you've both been on the show. You're often in our pre-show banter.
Oh yeah.
What do you think was the biggest story this year that was not Diamond? All right, let's eliminate. Let's start eliminating. It was not Diamond's bankruptcy and the distribution mix up, and it was not the Dogman generation beginning to file into stores, blowing up the single issue comic sales. Is there anything else there that you think is a bigger story than those things?
A bigger story?
Well, not bigger. What's number 3?
Well, I'll tell you. I don't know if it's number 3. Can I do predictions? Because
let's go. Let's jump into predictions then. Yeah.
So I'm going to reverse it. I was going to do one and then the other, but now I'll do the second one. So I've been watching Oni Press's turnaround this year.
Oh.
And my big prediction is, I have 2 predictions. The first one involving them. So, who knows what market share data is accurate or not. I'm looking to see, and they're around 1%. I think they're going to hit 2. And I think furthermore that like 5 through 10 on the market share is going to look wildly different next year.
Okay.
I'm not sure the exact, but I'm just saying, like, if there was a stock market for comic book publishers, if there was a Kalshi, I'm not saying bet, I'm not saying gamble here, folks, but I am saying I bet pretty big on those guys. Like, just seeing some of the stuff they've announced, like towards the end of Q4, like they end the year by announcing they're doing the Archie books. Like, I don't know, you don't end a year like that without having more on the dock, and it's exciting to see.
Yeah.
My other prediction,
let's go.
Sort of a yes and to Phillips from last year. He was talking about they're going to be a big creator on hit. I think market conditions are such that we're overdue actually for the next big, like, who is this person hit? Like, not a known publisher, not like it's just some person and she or he are making their book in their garage. And maybe it stops off on Kickstarter. Like we have Pat Chan, big Kickstarter guy. I don't know. But I think it's going to be like the next Cerebus, ElfQuest, Bone, Rantelgemeier zines. Like, I think the next year there's going to be a book. People are like, who is this? And it's not backed by anybody else besides this person making it. And furthermore, I think they'll have a confluence of distribution. I think it's going to hit big in the direct market, but I think it'll be someone who is like You know, she was posting on a webtoon, and then she was posting it on Kickstarter, and then on Patreon, like Kill 6 Billion Demons. I don't know if you guys remember that book that I think eventually was published by Image, but started off as like a Patreon book and then hit big. But yeah, I think we're overdue big time for that next book.
I believe you. Gabe, any big predictions?
So news story wise, right? The biggest news story, like, and I'll tell you why I believe this. It's because I got this from 3 different people for Christmas. You know, we all have those people in our lives that have no idea about anything about us except that, oh, he likes comics, or he must want this because everybody has it. 3 different people got me this for Christmas.
That's amazing.
Because they went into a comic shop and somebody said, oh, if they like comics, they'll probably like this.
Wow. 3.
2 paperbacks, and then I got the hardcover. That I think that's I don't remember the last time it's entered the zeitgeist. Sorry for using the word, to that degree where 64, an older lady walked into a comic shop, right, and said, you know, well, let's get him something, right? The others is another story, but like to have that happening, and I'm sure all of the comic shop folks in our chat experienced the same thing hundreds of times over the last month, but it hit me in the head like a shot, just like, this is a big deal, and we're bound for something big. To that end, and this kind of goes back to the news story thing with formats and the kind of the new generation coming into books and that sort of thing. Something that hit me last week when we were discussing format size and things like that is just how for the last 10 years or so, really since I entered the industry, the big conversation has been focused on digital versus print. And my argument has always been a print comic book will never go away because people love the way it feels in their hands, right? So why didn't I see coming, or many of us see coming, that a 6.5 by 5.5 is going to be what feels good in the hands of Gen Alpha because they're so used to it, and how that is my prediction is that before the end of the year, that will be the standard print size for graphic novels. I think it's going to shift entirely, maybe not entirely away. Certainly, I still think some will be printed in the traditional format, but I do believe that more smaller, compact, digest, whatever you want to call them, editions will be created than regular size graphic novels.
Dude, that's a great prediction.
I totally buy it. Yeah.
You mean like this?
Yeah.
Like
Speaking of which,
precisely like that.
Awesome. All right, boys, it's time for your Yule boast. Let's hear it. What is between the two, let's just say if there was ever a fireside ring of men who were sitting around drinking mead and bullshitting about what they're going to do in the coming year, it's this crowd right now, right? So I'm wanting to hear. Let's go big. Gabe, let's start with you because I feel like Joe's got it already in the pipe and he's going to close us out big. Let's go, buddy.
All right, Adam, cover your ears.
Okay.
Comics the Magazine, issue number 1, will have at least 75,000 in circulation.
Oh.
Oof. Oh, he's walking away.
All right.
Did you just
I wanted to say 100,000. I just didn't want to give him an aneurysm.
Okay. That's the show, folks. Thanks for tuning in.
Let's go. Sure. I can do 75. Let's go.
I think I'm getting a light my watch here.
I love it. I love the ambition. Let's fucking go, man. Let's go. I think we can. I think, you know what? I think there's well more than 75,000 people in our industry who want this thing, who need this thing. And I believe that we can more than satisfy those people.
Have you seen the cover?
I mean, that cover does kill.
It's true.
I'm not gonna lie. All right, Django. I'm gonna invest in trees. That's it. We're gonna start all gonna start buying Canadian forest land because of Gabe.
Leave my forest land alone.
Oh, you guys. All right. Well, I'm hopeful you're gonna be there. Well, Tommy, $2.99 is the price point, but you get it at 50 cents each if you buy it in bundles as a retailer. So there you go. Okay. Sorry, I can't stop myself. All right, Joe. Dude, I've known you've had that like ready to go, and I'm not ready to hear it. Anyway, Joe, what do you think?
I gotta say too, we talk Gabe all the time. You mentioned you had a number, and I thought the second one was your number, and I was like, is it gonna be his number? Now you just announced this. Now after this, I'm gonna work on the content issue to make sure it's worth 100K. So we'll see. I have a specific one and a general one, but they're in simpatico, and they're in simpatico with my prediction. One is I want comics to shift the attitude. Okay, so that this is the comics. Comics will break your heart, which is a misquote, but whatever. I'm not going to get to that now. To like comics won. We won. Like we won the culture of the last 20, 30 years. Go look at the big teasers for the big movie. That's ours. And it's from stuff from like 60, 70, or not even that long, 40, 50 years ago. Let's go make new stuff. Let's celebrate it. Let's go. Here's what I'm doing. So it's a lot of debate what my column should be in the book. It's the first column that we're going to have technically in a magazine. Every month I'm focusing on the next big thing. The first issue has an artist you've never heard of. Almost guaranteed. I think the second one's going to be a distributor who's new, who some of you have, but most people have it. And then that's what we're bringing every month. Is like, instead of the doomsaying stuff like, oh man, it's hard to be in that. Well, no. Like, here's something cool comics is doing, and here's the next big thing that you can celebrate and you can enjoy. So that's the attitude we're bringing into 2026.
I'm into it. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
I am so happy to be going into war with you gentlemen. Let's change our world for the better. Let's make it happen. And if you are ready to buy an ad, may I suggest you send an email to gabe@pranadm.com because he will get you the hookup. Awesome. Thank you, boys. I could not be happier to be working on this project with you. So
it's the biggest thrill, and I don't know, 75K. I don't know. Let's just say I'm here for it.
Comics won.
Awesome. Thank you, boys. All right, we got to get some more guests here because we're going to go way over time. Hi, Django. Yeah. I hope you didn't have anything planned, Brian, because we're just
I'm good. I'm good.
Just people coming in. All right.
It's terribly snowy outside. I don't want to move.
We've been talking about the effects of all of the things that have happened in comics on comics. I'm sorry, I'm still tingling from 75K. The effect of all they've had on comics retailers. We're going to be bringing in two of our biggest retailers. These are people who are return visits from last year's show, and they made some really great predictions and really great insights. So let's bring to the stage Mr. Captain Blue Hen, the president of Comics Pro, Mr. Joe Murray.
Hi, everybody.
Joe.
And from very near my hometown, Mr. Tim Stolzfitz, who I can never understand how to say his last name, and then I get nervous, and then I think I get it wrong, from More Fun Comics in Denton, Texas. Hey, my pal. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Hi there.
Hey, Tim.
So, you guys, we've been hearing stories, huge stories about how comic sales are up in the shops this year. You guys are both seeing this. Tim, you talked about this in the pre-show banter a little bit. You want to give some detail to that, some color?
Yeah. This year was huge. December is already going to be our biggest month ever, without the last 2 days finished. Best year ever, and comics were huge. The numbers I'm seeing on Absolute Batman, on the Absolute line is off the charts. The old diamond charts used to key off of the monthly Batman sales.
Yeah.
And that stuck in my brain, right? Absolute Batman at issue 15 is still selling over 6 times what Batman was before Absolute Batman launched for me, which is insane. When I look at the across all the printings of Absolute Batman #1, I've cleared over 600 copies, which is, again, an insane number. And I don't have people that are buying every cover. This is all fresh meat. This is all people that are interested in reading. But also on the graphic novel side, I'll share this specific number like I messaged you the other day and you invited me. The James Gunn, Supergirl, Superman, everything. That Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow trade paperback, before Superman came out, I had sold 4, maybe 5 copies of that book. Since then, I've sold 74 copies, which is just absolutely bonkers for my scale of operation and my numbers. So it's been a great year.
And the compact edition comes out next week. Like that's before even those numbers, which are going to be astronomical.
The other fun thing is the brief period that the softcover was out of print, they still had that $40 deluxe hardcover in stock, and I burned through 20 copies of that at $40 a throw.
Damn. Yeah, no kidding. Thinking about Gabe and his so many people giving it to him just because he's the guy who likes comics in their family. I just imagining everybody who walks into a comic shop this last month and says, I need something for somebody I know who loves comics. And they're like, here you go. Yeah.
I have to say I've been guilty of doing that.
Joe, how has your year been, my friend?
The year is probably going to end up about 16% up. It started out very strong. It has tapered off a little bit compared to last year. In the last few months, I don't know whether that is a drag on the economy or that, Absolute had launched at the tail end of last year. So December is not going to be our strongest month. December hasn't been our strongest month for several years now. It actually ends up being sort of mid-tier anymore, which I can't quite figure out. But on the whole, everything's good. I have this hard time reconciling two opposite ideas in my head, that I'm optimistic and the world's on fire. So it's like, it's like I'm whistling a happy tune as I walk through a burning building, and so. But I agree with almost everything Tim said with regards to the ratios and the numbers and stuff for Supergirl and for Absolute Batman. For titles, there's been titles we've had that we haven't had in stock like 3 or 4 times during the year because they're out of print or I'm between getting an order in on them, and they still ended up being in my top 5 titles. So
that's incredible. That's incredible. Well, listen, I think that it says a lot about what the opening part of your year was. If you were saying that last few months have been a little off compared to last year, and you're still 16% over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still remarkable growth.
We beat 2024 before December started.
Damn.
So,
you had a true Black Friday.
Like the December almost matches up almost exactly with last year, because this December is got a bit of a cheat because there will be a 5th new comic book day in it.
Yeah.
And had some very strange but glorious back issue sales in there. But our Black Friday basically worked out to be about almost exactly the same as last year. So
wow, that's incredible. All right. So from your positions, what do you think? Big predictions industry wide for comics. What do you think we're going to be looking at, Tim, in 2026?
Well, you want to share my slight tongue-in-cheek prediction that you posted last week?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
So, I do have a bigger prediction that Gabe kind of brushed up against, but my slightly tongue-in-cheek prediction, because I like to you got to put down your flag and be proven wrong or right. In the Supergirl movie, Lobo is going to turn out to be her drinking buddy that helps her beat something much bigger. There's another villain coming, and as a result, people are going to fall in love with Lobo, and we're going to sell tons of Lobo backstock, and we're going to sell tons of Logo backlist. I guarantee you in January or February, we're going to start seeing DC solicit some new Lobo trades, because there's literally only one book in stock right now at Lunar, and that's the $60 compendium, which I've still sold several of, and I expect to sell more. But Lobo, we're going to sell the crap out of Lobo thanks to the Supergirl movie this year. That's my prediction. But now my bigger, kind of more general, unquantifiable prediction, industry trend. We are seeing younger people are going back to physical media in the last year, big time. They are sick of screens. They are tired of the fact that every time you are on your phone, it's trying to extract money or data from you. I've read articles on young people in their 20s buying flip phones because they're so tired of phones. And I've seen, because I have a hybrid store. I do models. I do lots of board games, and models have taken off like a rocket. Gundam models, Warhammer, that kind of stuff. People want to own their stuff. They are tired of subscriptions and getting screwed by videos, streaming and whatnot. And I think we're going to see that trend. If you haven't noticed that, and Gabe touched on this with the formatting, right? But it's just people want to own stuff again after a movement away from that for over the last 15 years or so. We're seeing young people that are they're like, look, I'm done with not owning things, right? I want to own stuff, so I have it and I have access to it when I want to see it. And I think that's going to propel sales for the foreseeable future.
I see that. I see that in the numbers. I see that in, just in the people that I'm talking to. We've talked about meeting. My 23-year-old just left this afternoon talking about people that she knows who have vinyl but don't have a turntable. Right? They're buying. They want physical media. They want representation of the thing that they love, and not just the thing that they can love and watch on their phone. It's more than that. So I'm 100% there with you. I believe that. Joe, any other predictions for the year?
Absolutely agree with Tim about younger folk coming in, wanting to do something different, and not just all be digital. However, it is digital. It's not digital. It's social media that's somehow helping them pick their titles. I haven't yet to figure out exactly what it is specifically that's driving them in and bringing them in for specific titles. We have had a lot more people coming in for tertiary character back issues. I've had so many people, younger readers, and I don't mean like YA readers, I'm talking like 20s that are college age, that are coming in and rooting through the back issue bins and pulling out the absolute most random stuff. I mean, after rooting around for an hour, the most random stuff in the world. And I'm having a hard time keeping, I'm trying to stock seminal works of various characters. Okay. Poison Ivy has blown up for me recently. I hadn't really carried her much. I got the new trade in, or the volume 1 in, and I keep cycling through all of the trades constantly. Robin is hot. Any Robin is hot right now. I think he's absolutely right about Lobo. So we're having a hard time. Stuff that we would have thought was garbage before is gold again, to a degree. I do predict that back issues are going to continue to get a little bit harder to get. Last year, sales were buoyed by big back issue sales and big collections that we had. Now, when we get a collection in, and this happened most recently, this past week or so, we finally had, after months of our cases not really having anything in it, we got some B or C level stuff, filled the case up. It did not last 20 minutes before somebody came in and said, what silver and bronze do you have? And just indiscriminately grabbed it all, no matter the condition.
Wow.
And so, hey, that's a good thing, except it makes the cases look like crap again, and trying to keep up with it. And you have to put more effort into sorting the wheat from the chaff, because what you formerly thought was chaff is actually, still probably pretty good cereal that somebody's going to buy. So I think trying to get a hold of collections is going to get a decent collections, not, 90s, the same 90s or 2000s books that pop up all the time. I think that we're going to have to start changing our product mix, and I don't mean it in a fashion like we need to add more giggles or things, but when you go to a comic convention now, or when I go to a comic convention now, I do not recognize 60% of the characters that are running around in cosplay. And a lot of the stuff, the same thing happens with a lot of the booths, the vendor booths and stuff. And so I don't have knowledge in that area. We're going to have to start bringing more young people in on our staffing in order to figure out how to change the mix to appeal to those. The boomers are a little bit out. There's the next generation that we've always whined about wanting is finally arriving, and we are not completely prepared for it, but I think we are going to adapt. So
I will tell you that I had my 11-year-old, all of the gifts that I didn't give him this year were from friends and from other family members that know the stuff that he likes, were characters I'd never heard of. These were licensed, legit products for characters that I didn't even know that this was something that he was into, and I'm around him all day, every day. It's incredible how much of that is happening.
My son just asked for Glitch Productions, and I had no idea what that was. Walking around Rose City Comic Con asking everybody, do you have anything from Glitch? So,
all right, boys. Any Yule boasts? Anything you're gonna plant in the flag? You're gonna do this year? Gonna make it happen?
My boast is this year I'll actually ski a black diamond instead of fall down and end up walking down the hill.
Okay, all right.
Love it.
I like that. And you're like on the wrong side of 30 to be saying that. I love it. Let's go.
I'm on the wrong side of 50 now. So.
I was just gonna say, man, at 50, I used to love skiing. I wouldn't even think of it these days.
Yeah, exactly. That break is the thing that scares me. Joe, what do you think, buddy?
My health ambition is just to keep the A1C down a little bit more. I nailed the last blood test, but I got to keep it up and keep the doctor impressed. I'm actually literally going to plant my flag and say I will literally stay closer to on top of my email for once. I just reset it to 0, and every day I'm just checking it. Boom, 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 trying to stay on top of it a little bit. And at our Comics Pro, the Comics Pro annual meeting this year is going to be the best one ever. We are so far ahead on planning and sign up and programming and things that I think this one's going to be really, really good and not one to miss. So.
On that subject, I will say, I don't know if you watch the show regularly, but we regularly tell people that you absolutely cannot miss the annual meeting. You really must go. And I also realized that I still need to sign up for Piranha's sponsorship, and I haven't done that yet. So there you go. It's coming. Watch that inbox, buddy, because it's coming.
All right, man.
All right, my friend. It's
going to be really good. So
I'm looking forward to seeing you in February, and it's gonna be a good year. And I'm looking forward to having you both back on the show to talk about how good it's been. So we're looking forward to that. Thanks so much. Happy New Year.
Thanks.
All right. And finally, we've got one more grouping here. I want to bring in our producer, the man behind the scenes who we torture every week in order to pull this show off.
Who we push buttons on top of.
Someone who I know to be a very good cook, despite his really poor views on barbecue. You may know him as Blake's Buzz, Mr. Blake Morgan. Somebody pushed that button, and Blake, you come.
I didn't know if I should push it or not. I also thought a fiber dig was coming. I thought when you said it, he's also a really good cook, but I was like, damn it.
Eat some fiber, my friend. It can't all just be, whatever. Protein and starch. Okay. Our next guest is a writer, editor, publisher whose work spans creator-owned comics, licensed properties, some of the smartest, most repeatable Kickstarter campaigns in that space. He is I was so thrilled when Blake said that we should have this guy on the show, because he has hit my radar, and I think he's absolutely going to be perfect for this. Mr. Pat Shand. Pat.
That's a nice intro. Thank you.
What's up, dude?
How's it going?
How are you?
Doing pretty well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. We had a good year, I think. How was your year in Kickstarter land?
My year was good. It's we've been expanding every year. My company, Space Between Entertainment. This was our biggest year so far. We did 44 Kickstarters, and we've begun to also fulfill for other creators here and there. So yeah, it's been a year of growth. It's exciting. It's a great space.
You did 44 Kickstarters this year?
Yeah.
Jeez,
I didn't even realize it was that many. That's crazy. How many people are on your team?
Full time we got about 4 guys, but the full team, we have packing guys who do our packing sessions at night. We have editors who are freelance and work for hire. I'd say all told about 11 to 15, depending on which project.
Wow.
My God, man. 44 campaigns this year. Do you know what average funding you hit? Do you have a
average? No, because there's been we have different imprints, and our most successful one is the Cheeky Comics imprint, and sometimes some of our other accounts, like we collaborate with Ralph Tedesco, who was the co-founder of Zenoscope, and now he has his own label with Black Crow Comics. He's doing some of his creator-owned books toward us. So some of those are on the Cheeky imprint, and some are just the space between. But the Cheeky ones tend to be the overperformers. But we also have campaigns that are, like convention exclusives where, say, we'll do we did for New York Comic Con, where if you missed our appearance at New York and at Exotica, we'll do a Kickstarter campaign for that. So those campaigns where it's kind of not new items, but new versions will go a bit less than the big new stuff. So it's kind of hard to find a medium there.
Got you. I got you. Wow. Well, it's an impressive number, if nothing else, that many campaigns. I will say that one of my predictions, one of my boasts is or not boasts, more like a resolution is just going to be a much smaller number that we're going to run for clients this year. So he's
already reminding me not to panic. He's like Blake, remember, but yeah, 44. Good. Let's
go. Awesome. Yeah, no, seriously. All right. Well, so looking at your space, what comics looks like in your space, we spend a lot of time in the direct market and comic shops, and just looking at publishing in general. Looking at your space, what are you seeing happening in 2026?
I do see a lot of publishers, they've been sort of their means of getting their books out has been damaged, some of them removed. So I already have seen many of these publishers take to Kickstarter and see the success that the indie outfits like myself have had. I've seen companies like Zenoscope that I mentioned move their primary form of reaching customers to Kickstarter. So I think that we'll see more of that, and not just on Kickstarter, but just more direct to consumer. I think that you've seen all these apps. Like if you open up TikTok and scroll, you'll soon enough see people selling directly to customers. Whatnot has exploded. So I think that sort of the removal of needing a publisher who is not just you or your team, I think that we're going to see more creators who have an established audience start to sell direct, because there has been, there's a very kind of artistic ideal that all I do is create, right? I write, I draw. This is what I'm put here to do. I want everyone else to market for me, to sell for me. But our industry is not super conducive to that, at least right now. So I think that we're going to see people who can do everything sort of rise a bit more next year. And they have been rising this year, but I think that we'll see them bring other weapons into their arsenal with Kickstarter, Whatnot, TikTok Shop, and even just their website. We saw Brian Polito. He has been the Kickstarter icon, and he's moved his campaigns now to his personal website where it functions like a Shopify pre-order. So I think that we'll see more of that, more people taking the success of their career and also just their individual books into their own hands.
I have zero doubt that is true. And I will tell you, I think a lot of our success as a company, and we'll get into that when we get into our resolutions, has been because we offer some of those services to the people who do just want to create. And you're right. You have to be able to, you have to have somebody who's doing both, even if it's not you. That's wonderful. Do you have any big, do you have a boast? Do you have a Yuletide boast?
We have a Yuletide boast. Yeah, I'll say, so next year we're going into our 10th year publishing. So it's going to be a big celebratory year. My goals next year are to, one, just keep it going, keep turning out books that people are excited to back, and that come out consistently, always have beautiful art. I want to do our first ever in-person event where we have our fans come for essentially a mini Space Between convention, and I'll bring on a comic industry legend as a staff member to Space Between at some point in 2026.
I like that. That's a good one. Awesome. Blake is busy all the other year. I just want that noted. If he was the guy you thought you were bringing on, he's busy. I cannot stress this enough. Okay, good. Wonderful. Well, Pat, thanks so much for coming on, dude. I was excited to see that you're here, and I think we should dig even deeper into your business in an upcoming episode. I think that would be really good. I'd look forward to that.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. Blake, what about you, my friend? What do you think? What's our big prediction for the year?
Big prediction is I think you're going to see a lot more comic creators making content. You're going to see a lot of these people that were like, I don't want to be online, being forced to be online. People that have been too busy for mailing lists, finding time to figure out those mailing lists. You've got to do this now. You have to be present. It's very hard to release comics in the crowdfunding and indie comic scene, and unless you're your marketing person, unless you're paying for it, right? Or unless you're paying for someone's services, and even if you are paying for someone's services, if you're not, you need to remind people that you're here, that you're a creator, that you're making this cool thing, right? You need to be a part of it. And I saw this. I'm not like a stand-up comic like connoisseur, right? But I watch a lot of stand-ups, and I follow a lot of the scene. It's what I do in my tiny bits of free time that I find throughout the day. But every great comic or pretty popular comic or new comic that knows what they're doing has a podcast, and it's hilarious. But they're all doing it. And I see that trend moving into other avenues, right? And I think comic creators are going to be, you're going to start doing. We've already seen some of it, but it's hard. It's hard getting indie press these days. It's tricky. True. And I didn't touch anything, by the way. I don't know what
Me neither.
Here. That's what I see. That's my big prediction. And we've already. We've touched on it a few times. Bigger indie names coming to Kickstarter, established creators, stuff like that. That trend's going to do nothing but continue.
I have absolutely no doubt. Awesome. All right, boys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. That we have gone way over time, and we still have a bit more show to do. So I'm going to thank you both and take you from the screen. Actually, I'm not going to touch any buttons. Watch this. Somebody else is going to do it right
Thanks,
now.
Pat, man. We appreciate you, dude.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, so we do have a couple more things before we head out of here. One is we need to do a little bookkeeping. We have one of our Prana publishers has a book that is coming to FOC this week. Even though we're all on holiday, comic shops still got to order books. You still got to do it. And so in our continual goal of making sure that you have all the information that you need, we're going to run another installment of our series called The Final Cut with our own Keith Davidson. Blake,
welcome to The Final Cut, where we take a quick look at upcoming projects headed to final order cutoff. I'm joined this week by Dirk Manning, the author of the original graphic novel Love Stories About Death, coming in February from SourcePoint Press. Dirk, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back. I'm really excited to talk about this book and get this book back out in comic stores and things like that.
So, Love Stories About Death. Why did you tackle this morbidly romantic subject?
Love Stories About Death is, first and foremost, this is like my, again, kind of like a love letter to anthologies, but this is an anthology of 7 full-length stories that all are horror stories with a love twist or love stories with a horror twist. I think the intersection between romance stories and horror stories, when you go through the through line of the whole history of horror, is oftentimes very deeply embedded in it to some degree. I love horror anthologies, obviously. I'm a horror anthology, baby, and I found that this was a topic that really started to kind of like draw me in, right? Of working with 7 different artists and getting to tell full-length stories, one-shot style stories in collecting an anthology where, again, love stories with a horror twist or horror stories with a love twist in 7 different genres, put it together in a nice big collection for everybody.
Can you give us a teaser to the kinds of stories that we'll see in its pages?
Yeah, like I said, there's 7 different stories in this book. Owen Gianni, who grew a lot of fame in like Manifest Destiny and Rat Queens, did a really cool science fiction story. We've got a vampires versus Vikings story. We've got a pirate mermaid story. We've got a pro wrestling story, right? We got a zombie story. We got a cryptid story. These are all horror stories with love twist or love stories with a horror twist, and 7 self-contained full-length stories. Amazing artists. Again, got to give big shout out to Nia Ruffino, who did this incredible cover, which really just pops off the shelves. There's a little bit of something for everybody in here, you know, and this is a book that I tell people is guaranteed, one of the stories in here at some point, guaranteed to make you cry. That's my selling point on this one. There is something in here, no matter how much of a jaded horror person you are, there's a one story in here will catch you at some point. Different one for everybody, but it'll make you cry.
So who are the kinds of readers that you think will enjoy love stories about death?
What I find time and time again is people that just want to jump in and get like a good standalone read, right? People that are interested in kind of like macabre, romantic horror stuff and things like that. But also people that just really want to get into horror, but don't want to invest in a big series. The fact that this is a standalone graphic novel, 7 different full-length stories, 7 different art styles in the book. There's people that just want that kind of standalone horror read, and this is really perfect for them, as well as people that, I'm not going to say spicy. This is not a spicy book, but just full disclosure, it's not. But with a little bit of romance. Someone once said, Love Stories About Death is a book that tugs at your heartstrings and then pulls your heart right out of your chest.
Why should comic shops be sure to stock this book?
This is just a standalone graphic novel. This is an easy pickup for people. Gorgeous cover by Nia Ruffino. All these different cool art styles and stuff in the book. And there's a lot of readers out there who just want to pick up a book and just read it and enjoy it. We know horror fans buy. We know horror fans spend money. And when you combine that with like kind of like the dark romance angle on these different stories and things like that, this is a shoe-in. Full disclosure, this is a book that pops off my table at every convention I do. And I think this is another book. You put this forward-facing with this amazing Nia Ruffino cover. Just know the basic premise of the book. The title speaks for itself. This is one that'll move.
Any last words that you'd like to share about Love Stories About Death?
A really fun fact about this book, again, this is actually a re-release of a one-shot we did through Image Comics years ago, and then we did a smaller version of the graphic novel through Devil's Due. This is the definitive edition. This book was also featured on Chicago Fire, the sitcom, which is just kind of a fun little thing, but, you know, this book was actually featured on network television as well. But, again, for fans that want a standalone horror book with just a little bit of a romance angle, this is an easy pickup, but I hope everybody will check it out.
Well, Dirk, thank you very much for joining us on The Final Cut.
Appreciate you having me on. Thank you very much, Keith.
And thank you, Dirk and Keith. You guys, once again, I think looking forward to seeing this book on your shelves in the new year. There are the lunar distribution and the universal distribution numbers for your FOC orders. For you, make sure you add those in. All right, Brian, let's get it. Let's do our own predictions. Are you ready? Do you want to go first?
Let's do it. I'll go first.
Okay, let's go.
Well, you know, 2025 was rough. It was rough. It was not an easy year. There was a lot of stuff going on, and I felt like I was always running to catch up. So 2026, right now, we are making plans to get ahead of things. So I'm going to bring on some staff, and that's because of some of the successes we had last year. I mean, we're over 300 stores now. Our plan is to hit over 500 stores this year. So I'm bringing on, I need somebody to handle like support requests and things like that. That's a big goal very, very shortly. But my prediction is that by Comics Pro, we are going to have really, really sound numbers in terms of sales numbers. We will definitely have the best predictability numbers. So we will know far in advance how Comics the Magazine is doing way before your final cutoff numbers come out. And we are going to prove why that is important to publishers. And I anticipate that at Comics Pro, I'm going to have a whole bunch of meetings with publishers. That's why I rented a suite in an adjoining hotel, so people can come and go. So yeah, that's my little kind of self prediction. But my big, should we do our big, hairy, audacious prediction now?
Let me run through mine. I have a big, hairy one just for the industry, but let me run through mine real quick.
Okay.
We're running really long on time, but I want to do this. I will go ahead and take over I'm going to go ahead and add this stage. Okay. Prana green. I think this was a joke that Blake made about Prana being green. Everything is greener in 2026. If he's not, then it worked anyway. Okay, so I have some big these are resolutions, let's call them, right? These are the things that we resolve. These are our intentions for the year. We are going to work with the team that you saw and more. Rico Renzi, Megan Marsden, not here today. We're going to build Comics the Magazine into the world's greatest comics magazine about comics. 75,000 copies. I like the sound of that, but man, is that scary. That's terrifying.
I think, honestly, that is that's a low number. I honestly think you're going to crush that.
Y'all are so sweet. Okay. We've been shooting for a third of that. And if we get to 75, all right, it's time to go. We're going to have 12 successfully funded crowdfunding campaigns for our clients. I did my kind of cheating a little bit because I have a board that's almost half full for next year anyway. We schedule them out once per month. And we do that because we want to be able to focus on promoting those. In the comic shops, we're going to have 9 new publishers joining Prana Publishers. Now, 9 does not sound like a huge number. It's not like, we could probably open the floodgates and do, 50 or so. But the truth is that we really focus in on one at a time. We bring out one new publisher a month so that we can be sure to promote their launch and make sure that we have enough of a staff that we can continue to coordinate. So 9 of them. I feel like we're about halfway there as far as contracts that have been signed. So, and there's some good ones. Oh man, there's one I'm so excited to tell. I think we're going to talk about it next month. We are going to be launching a Discord for this and our other podcast, Comic Industry Insiders. Our goal for Comic Industry Insiders has been to give you a place where we can learn from the people behind the scenes of the comic book industry, learn what they have learned, and add it to your business or career in comics. Having that has been as our guiding light has been a wonderful way to keep us on track with everything that we do, especially this live show. I think the Discord is our next step towards that. It's a way for you to find your cohort, to find the people who are on the same path as you, the people that you can learn from, the people who are further down the field. If you want, we have a very limited number of invitations for people to join. If you want, please drop us a line at info@pranadm.com, or if you can DM me somewhere if you know exactly where you are. You might get ahead of the line. We'll see. We'll be setting that up as we go. And finally, my biggest goal for the year is we're going to have Nick Barucci on this goddamn show. It's either going to be on the live show, or I really want to do a long form interview with this guy because he had an incredibly dramatic year, the dramatic 2025. He is a hustler who legitimately started with long boxes in the trunk of his car, in the trunk of somebody else's car because he needed a ride. He legitimately started from that place and has built Dynamite into one of the biggest powerhouses in our industry and one of the powerhouses behind the experience. There you go. Kyle said he can't even get him on the phone most days. But he's a partner in the experience, one of our broadcasting partners in this project. So anyway, Nikki, if you're out there, it's time, buddy. The bankruptcy's basically done. It's time to come on. It's time to tell us the story. I'm looking forward to it. Those are my big predictions, my big resolutions, shall we say. All right. And that's not even my Yule boast. That's not even my big hairy one.
That's amazing.
Let's go.
Yeah.
What do you got?
All right. Well, so this is my crazy thing for the industry, and this is as much me willing a thing into existence as it is me thinking that this is something that will happen. My prediction for 2026 is that Dave Pilkey and or Raina Telgemeier will do a creator-owned project for one of the big two. And my thinking is most likely one of the big three: Image Comics, Marvel, DC. And my thinking is actually that it's going to be a creator-owned project for Vertigo. And this is going to it's the end of that circle that we've been talking about for an entire year. Like, those kids know those names. And both of them, if they do a body horror story, oh my God, like, they both, their tales are body horror things. And you take that and you give it the next level of maturity. All of the money, Adam. We will make all of the money.
Okay. All right. I've got one. I think it disappeared. We didn't really discuss this, but what we're gonna do here. So I've got one. I think this is the year that we, one of the things I like to say about comics, reason that comics work is because of the direct market, is because of the comic shops. The store count has not shifted plus or minus 4 to 5%, single digits, in well over 2 decades. We've not seen that. We saw a little bit of hairiness during COVID, but that ballooned right back up. So here's my prediction. 2026 is not only the year that we see double-digit growth in the store count, the brick and mortar store count, but it's the year that we see our first nationwide chain really step forward.
Wow. Interesting.
Now, I have two that I think are likely. And I think either one of them could. Knowing what I know, they both have options for growth. I think we're going to see at least one of them step forward and become the juggernaut that pushes us into this incredible decade that we have in front of us.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
Wow.
What do you think? Yeah.
I think you got something there. I think, like, in terms of store growth, like, I know so many stores that are trying to get off the ground right now. So it's like, it's definitely, I don't remember seeing, and I've been doing this 10 years, I don't remember seeing this many people getting in on the store, like, kind of thing as we're seeing right now. So yeah, for sure. There's something out there.
I think it's also remarkable that, so many of the programs that Diamond attempted were in order to try and grow that market, and they never really were able to. And now that they've essentially, it's the decentralization that allows that sort of growth. That will be wonderful to see if it happens. So anyway, Brian, this has been an incredible year, buddy. Thank you for being on this journey with me.
Thank you, man. So much has happened. It's been a great year, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so for the final time in 2025, I want to say to each and every one of you, and by each and every one of you, I mean everybody who bought comics this year, everybody who went into a comic shop, maybe on a weekly basis, maybe just to buy somebody an Absolute Batman. Thank you. Everybody who worked a counter and hand sold that Absolute Batman, or, vacuumed the same goddamn floor 365 times. Every single one of you that has Windex counters and storefronts and shown up when you got broken into, or the car drove through it. Every single one of you, every one of you who has hung out in our green room today, absolutely thank you. Everybody who has owned a shop, opened a shop, negotiated a lease, done all of the hard work that it takes to get into your communities and grow those businesses. Every one of you who's had a business that didn't see the same growth as everybody else, and yet you still stuck with it. Everybody who made their own comic, everybody who got a job with a big publisher to make comics, everybody who works in the PR and in publishing and operations and all of the places in the publisher, everybody who works in distribution, every single one of you, thank you, because you saved comics this year. God damn it if we didn't need it.
Yup, 100%.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Namaste, y'all.
y'all.